On today's very special episode, you'll be experiencing the channel's first walkthrough of the world-famous San Diego Zoo Safari Park, known for its breathtaking views, conservation efforts, and some of the best exhibits of their kind, and that includes Walkabout Australia. If you've seen an American zoo's take on Australia, then, well, let's be honest, you've pretty much seen them all. Not this one. The cute, unique, and what the heck is that species list, combined with a more thematic approach, really set the bar, and what you're about to see is considered the best of the best interpretation of the Australian wilds in the nation. Before we begin though, I would really appreciate it if you press those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and comment below if you could only visit the San Diego Zoo or the Safari Park. Which one would you choose? The map doesn't really show it all too well, but you gotta do quite a bit of walking uphill to get to your destination, which is about a third of a mile away from the entrance. When you get there, you're invited to steer left off the main path onto the country back roads, and it would not be an official road without a few official traffic signs. And this mix was creatively vandalized to go from warning drivers about traffic to warning oncomers about threats in the wild. One of them points you in the direction of EndExtinctionSanDiego.org, a collective movement that formed in 2017 to prevent extinction to local wildlife, and you can read more about it below in the comments. If you look out the window to your right, this is our first exhibit, and the first of 4 environments that you'll find on the trail. This is the open grasslands, and it's open for you to wander inside these barriers. Just go to this tumble-down stone house, and a docent will let you in. It's definitely one of the largest walkthrough Roo havens I've strolled through. It has mixed terrain and it's very detailed with its decorations, and for what the park calls an open grassland is slowly but surely becoming a dense forest. Be on the lookout for a few Bennett wallabies that prefer the right side of the habitat, and a few western gray kangaroos that mingle in the brush on the habitat's left side. Even with the waterfowl mix, it's not as populated as I expected it to be. And I'm not used to playing hide and seek with macropods, but with the addition of Everest, the albino wallaby, that's changed a little bit since, well, he's pretty easy to find, and he's the most active of the bunch. From what I've read, Everest used to be a full-time ambassador animal. Now, speaking of which, it was advertised that animal ambassadors like wombats, kookaburras, echidnas, and more would be presented inside this exhibit at certain times. When I try to look this up, I don't get any info, but you still can see these animals up close and get a private tour if you sign up for the behind-the-scenes experience. Alright, now comes the part why you clicked on this video in the first place. And if you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, you're about to see the Walkabout Australia at 99% power. In 2019, the Safari Park added the platypus, duck-billed, webbed feet, venomous, and it lays eggs. This is the most unusual mammal on the planet. I don't know if things have changed since their arrival, but these are the only ones of their kind, not just in the US, the only individuals outside of Australia. So this is it, folks. No more platypuses on the channel, unless some Australian zoo can offer me some kind of tour. Even a few years later, and they're still treated as if giant pandas have returned to San Diego. Like that'll ever happen. Even the creator of Phineas and Ferb had to pay a visit. As you can imagine, the area can get a little congested, so get here first thing in the morning for your best chance of getting the platypuses all to yourself. They are mostly nocturnal, so these 2 very well detailed exhibits are very dark, and you might only catch their silhouettes. But still, it's the greatest silhouette that you'll ever see. Water might not be one of the first things you think of when you hear Australia, but that's actually one of the exhibit's main themes. This water conservation tank is used by local farmers or ranchers, demonstrating how collecting rainwater can be a very valuable source during dry times, but clearly the skies have been kind around here, and the magpie geese, freckled ducks, and whistling ducks are here soaking up the wetlands. The wetlands turns into the rainforest, and it felt like I was walking past one of the exhibits in Jurassic Park. But this actually contains, well, you'll see. The pond sits at the foot of the Zest family station, Walkabout Australia's central gathering place, disguised as a very old and rustic wool shearing shed converted into a rest stop. You can grab a bite, grab a beer, and learn about the history of wool shearing like you would at any other normal bar back home. And for one night, this can all be yours. The shed is available for rent for any Ridgy-Didge event you have in mind. And I added a link to the sign-up page in the comments. Whether you plan on doing that or not, I just think it's worth checking out for the 3D tour. You can eat, drink, and be merry, and cheers to a tree kangaroo. Now, Magpie's kangaroos cover about 5,000 square kilometers of a very small peninsula in New Guinea. If you couldn't somehow tell, because it's not like in their name or anything, their expertise is climbing trees. For the most part, rough pads on their hands and feet give them a non-slip grip when they're climbing, and sometimes they like to climb up as high as 10 stories tall. But in a way, tree kangaroos are just barely hanging on. Their habitat is being paved away for agriculture, they're hunted for their meat, and wildfires don't really do them any favors. The San Diego Zoo Global Organization financially supports the Tree Kangaroo Conservation Program that works with local communities in Papua New Guinea to protect this endangered species and its home. You can say Walkabout Australia doesn't have a lot of animals, but you can't say that they're not bizarre, beautiful, and unique. Meet the cassowary, a modern-day dino from both New Guinea and Australia, standing 6 feet tall, 100 to 150 pounds, glistening black plumage, 2 dangling wattles, and a casque to top it all off. In fact, their name actually translates to horned or helmeted head. Beautiful, but they like to say don't get too close to them. One swift kick is powerful enough to break bones and give nasty lacerations, crowning them as the most dangerous bird in the world. So that's grasslands, wetlands, rainforests, and the last realm of this walkabout is the desert. The very last bit of the exhibit is a line of old, rusted-looking restrooms. But from here, a new route opens up to the Condor Ridge, which we will get to on our next adventure. So that's one safari park tour down and many more to come. And I think I started with the perfect exhibit to make a great first impression. I just feel so grateful that I got to see this for myself after hearing years worth of hype about it. There isn't an Australian exhibit in the nation that matches this level of combined quality and creativity. And even if you take the platypuses out of the picture, I still think this would be the best of its kind in the country. I hope you had a bonzer time. Comment below your thoughts and praises. Thank you for watching, and to all my fellow zoo nerds out there, you stay classy.